3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Hey everybody, and welcome to the College Esports Update, brought to you by Zaxby's. Cure your craving with Zaxby's. Now, we're here to give you the latest score, stats, and results coming from the college esports world, and obviously the big story this week is College League of Legends. But I am your host, Norris Howard, and I am always joined by one of the most ginormous brains in college esports, coach of Aquinas College. We got Coach Adam Antor here. We just call him Coach. Coach, what's up?
How's it going? Always a pleasure to be here. Excited to talk about some League of Legends.
Absolutely. And so when we talk about CLaw, we definitely got to start with Maryville and their first win of the season. So Maryville got off to a great start, and not just because they got the win over the NTC Timberwolves, but also because the manner in which they won the match. It was absolutely dominant from start to finish, including a level 1 invade that fed 4 kills between the jungler top laner and the bot laner. But they won this match in such a quick fashion that, I mean, it blew everybody's mind. Like, Coach, this had to be amazing for you to witness, right?
It was exciting to watch. I mean, we saw a lot of item builds and all-ins that we don't normally see in a normal match. The important piece to remember and to know is because of CLaw rules, playoff seeding, once we get through the 6-week regular season, one of the tie-breaking factors is average game time. So a lot of these juggernauts of College League of Legends are trying to finish these early games as quick as possible, so that they kind of position themselves ahead of the competition when they start heading into playoffs.
Yeah, and speaking of that actual time, they actually finished that first match in 9 minutes and 45 seconds,
Crazy.
Which is nuts because me as a scrub tier 80 carry, I haven't even come online in the first 10 minutes. I've just finished my first mythic. Maybe I got a pair of boots. I haven't done anything. But anyway, they've absolutely got off to a great start, firing on all cylinders. But another big story here is they lost 2 major players. Niles and Iconic, Maryville lost 2 major players, and they're replaced by Dinka and Kind Jungle. And they've hit the ground running. They've been absolutely lights out. And I gotta say, this has to be a testament to their entire program to be able to slot 2 players in, especially at the jungle position, which is incredibly important right now, and continue to perform at such a high level, right?
Absolutely. I mean, this program, between League of Legends and Overwatch, Maryville's always ready to kind of replace a player that goes into the pro scene. They usually run 2 full rosters of each game, and both rosters could be a top 2, top 3 team in each of their respective games. You see Maryville's A and B team just dominate at Hugh Fest earlier this year. So not a surprise, but always incredibly exciting to witness players step into a new role like that with a new squad, because they've been playing with different players all year, and now they have to step up and learn how to play with the A squad.
Yeah, and definitely. And we want to highlight something that we're going to do brand new, which is going to be our college update, our checkpoint on campus player of the week. And that's going to go to Evan RL of Maryville. Now, Evan RL is bot lane for Maryville, and he played absolutely lights out, was dominant on Tristana in that first match. And we wanted to highlight Evan RL for all of that great work that he put in during that match, as well as just being awesome at the game. Also, I just want to give a quick hand clap out to your own Aquinas College, which got off to a W starting off this season. You got to be feeling good about that, right?
I mean, yeah, it's a great time to always, whenever you pick up a win. These first weeks of CLaw are going to be a little bit on the easier side, but they're always still challenging because a player can come into CLaw super nervous and make mistakes, and before you know it, you're looking at a potential loss. So we'll take the wins when we can get them, and it's exciting to see the teams that came out with a win this week.
Moving out to the Eastern Division of College League of Legends, Harrisburg Storm also got off to an absolutely lights out game. They played Montclair State, but the kill differential is the story here. Between the 2 matches, they had a kill differential of 48-5. Coach, you said that these early weeks for the big schools are gonna be a little bit easier, a little bit milder, but I mean, You could get 5 kills by mistake. Like, this is nuts.
What I would say is right now, because of the CLO rules, kill differential does not make a difference. So what I would be looking at in terms of that squad is I would be worried because it would seem that they don't know how to close out a game. That would be my worry, but it is a dominant performance. Week 1, there may be some things they need to work on in terms of closing out a game, but overall, a win's a win. You take that and you learn from it and move on.
Now, moving out to the West, UCI also had a very big win, but I agree with our coach here. There were some problems with UCI closing out this game. They had a massive kill differential as well as they went up against the Eastern Arizona Gila Monsters, where they won 72-4 in terms of kill differential. But a lot of that were battles in the jungle, fights underneath turrets that they couldn't necessarily clear out. And even when they got the aces, they couldn't push as quickly. Coach, I want to ask you, when it comes to League of Legends and you're seeing something like that, how do you correct when a team is getting a lot of kills, they have a huge gold advantage, but it seems like they can't necessarily secure those objectives?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it comes down to team coordination. What's the communication look like? IGLs, their in-game leader, who's making the shot calls. Are they making the right decisions? But it also comes back to the champion select. Did they pick champions that were efficient at securing objectives early, or did they have to wait because of the champions they picked? You kind of have to look at that as a coach and make your adjustments as needed. Earlier on in the season, you're going to want these games to be a lot quicker because once you get to week 3, week 4, you're going to start hitting those teams that are going to be really challenging, the high diamond plus teams that could take a game or two off of you if you're not vigilant.
Yeah, I was worried, and definitely, if you're seeing a game go north of 15 minutes with a goal and kill lead like that, you got like Ziggs or something like that, and you're still not securing those turrets. You got some massive problems. But UCI still gets off with a big win starting off the season. But also in the Western Division, we had Cal Poly versus Oregon in a very competitive match. Had a lot of kills, but Oregon eventually did close out that match, where they also had another great performance from their AD carry, JG. Now, we just want to close out to say, like, a lot of the big schools pretty much wiped the floor with the competition. Northwood, Illinois, Ryerson, North Texas, all the schools that you would expect to be moving forward and getting a lot of big wins. They actually got those wins. And I want to ask you, Coach, before we close out this week's episode, is that understanding how these first few weeks are going, do you think that the pool may be a little bit too large? I mean, does it seem like maybe this first couple weeks aren't necessarily throwaways, but should there be different tiers? Because to me, what I saw was a massive skill gap between the top schools and some of the weaker schools.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a problem. I think that a lot of coaches see in the space is that these first couple weeks, you have these top diamond average teams plus playing up against all gold rosters, and that's really not healthy for anyone really at the end of the day, and hopefully not a too terrible experience for those players who take a loss this first week. But there's really not a consensus on what the better thought process or the better structure should be. There's a lot of coaches out there who think there should be divisions similar to the NCAA. There's questions on how do teams move up and move down. But as of this point, Riot gets to call the shots, and this is the format they created. What's beneficial is that those teams that don't make the playoffs do get another opportunity to compete in something called the Timo Cup after the regular season, and that gives teams another opportunity to compete. Currently, the Swiss format in the regular season allows some of these teams that struggle in the first 2 weeks to start getting more competitive matches later on in the season. But again, this regular season is only 6 weeks long for most teams if you're not making the playoffs. And that's a pretty short season when you're looking at an entire school year's worth of competition.
Absolutely. And for those who don't know, that Timo Cup is functioning similar to the NIT as it does in collegiate basketball, where obviously the top teams are allowed to go to the big dance in March. And, some of the more kind of the teams that didn't quite make the cut, or those bubble teams, get to go to the NIT, which is a big invitational tournament that is held. And they can win a little bit of glory from that tournament 2. So that's going to be it for this iteration of the college esports update. We will be back next week where there's going to be a lot more to talk about. Obviously, CLOL is still going to be going on, but College COD is going to be starting, and hopefully we'll be getting some news on whatever is coming next for Overwatch and Rocket League. So for my co-host, the illustrious Coach Adam Antor, and from everybody here at Checkpoint, make sure you guys stay tuned in for the next college esports update. See you later.